God has the perfect timing. He knows exactly when we need something done in our lives. He never does anything too early or too late. This can actually be so difficult to understand if you always feel God keeps you waiting for too long. What you should know is that God already has a plan for your entire life, every minute, every second. So God is definitely the only one you can trust to give you blessings at the perfect time. You should be rest assured that God has everything under complete control. The beautiful thing is that God also uses this period to prepare everything you have been asking for. He has not forgotten everything He promised you. God will definitely do them for you. God would also protect you throughout this period, just to make sure that everything He has prepared for you meets you in good health. Everything God has prepared for us would be delivered to us successfully. Romans chapter 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." God is always good. It doesn't matter how long you have been waiting. Just know that God sees it all, and He would pay you the reward for your patience. What God has in store for you is worth every day, every hour, and seconds of your wait. God would surely shower His blessings on those who are patient with Him and continue believing in Him no matter the situation. God is fully aware of your patient heart, and you would surely receive the reward for this. Keep trusting in God, keep your faith in Him, and keep praying to Him. God would definitely bless you for this. It will be worth it in the end. Every minute and every second you wait on God, God will bless you for it. You should always know that no matter how long you have waited on God, there are people out there that have waited for longer periods and they are not giving up yet. You should be aware that God has something big planned for you. This is not the time to give up or the time to settle for less. No, keep waiting. Just have patience and allow God to finish His preparation on you. It will be worth it. God does not rush His blessings. God has perfect timing for everything He does, so He has no reason to rush. The world has corrupted us into wanting everything within the blink of an eye, but God is definitely not of this world. The plan God has for you is everlasting, and He must perfect His plan on us before executing it. God wants you to be in the perfect relationship with the perfect partner for you. If you really want all these things to stay forever, you should let God prepare it well. Trust in God and His timing. He has never failed, and He would never fail. It is evident that people do not like waiting for anything. We want things done immediately. People hate it when you delay them or you delay something you are supposed to give them or do for them. This brings out the frustrations and anger in them. No one loves to wait for the little things, let alone the big stuff. The anger and frustration might not be the reaction for some of us, as different people have different ways of dealing with things, but this does not negate the fact that we do not want to wait for anything. Have faith in God and watch Him do His wonder in your life. This represents our dilemma as Christians. Though God gave us the brains to create technology, but He would not let this control Him. God operates on a whole different level, and we need to be accustomed to His system of operation. God knows it all, so when He wants you to wait, there is a reason, so you should wait. God usually uses these waiting periods to do positive things in our lives and make us closer to Him. While we wait, God is actually working on us. God is perfecting something in our lives. He is building us for something big, and we need to be patient to see these dreams come to pass. The story of Adam and Eve is a story of rebellion against God. They doubted God's good intentions for them. They could not keep their faith in God, so they decided to disobey God and went ahead to do whatever they had in mind. Today, this is exactly how most of us rebel against God. God will instruct you to wait on Him, but we would not. we would be looking for a quick fix instead, and at the end of the day, we mess everything up. This is usually not part of God's plan for us. This attitude creates a very big distance between us and God. Our relationship with God becomes broken. We get into lots of trouble and we suffer lots of pain. Mark chapter 8 verse 36 says, "What good is it to gain the whole world now, whatever it is we think we want, and forfeit our souls?" The best way to please God is to show Him that we are totally dependent on Him. Sometimes, God just asks us to be patient. That moment of silence from God is when God is most powerful and working on us to set us free from all the enemies trying to stop us if we are willing to let God into our lives. Most times, we are not ready to wait at first. Naturally, nobody wants to wait for something they can have now. When you feel frustrated having to wait for things, it is actually not a sinful act. The problem is that sometimes we let these emotions get the best of us. We can decide to exalt these feelings. We might sometimes just take a step too far and take matters into our own hands. Every passing day is another log on the fires of bitterness, impatience, ingratitude, perhaps even resentment against a God who won't give us what we want. By the grace of God, though, we could choose to wait like God wanted us to. John Piper said, "Waiting on the Lord is the opposite of running ahead of the Lord, and it's the opposite of bailing out on the Lord. It is staying at your appointed place while He says stay, or it is going at His appointed pace when He says go. It's not impetuous, and it is not despairing. This is a choice we have to make. We can definitely let the will of God be done, and we just sit back, relax, and just watch God do His thing at the perfect time He wants to." Most of the greatest people in the Bible, like Abraham, Joseph, Moses, and David, all had to wait for many years for God to fulfill all the promises He made to them. God was just preparing them for the reception of His blessings, inwardly as well as outwardly. When they were ready, they received unlimited grace and blessings from God. God wants us to trust Him and put all our hopes and faith in Him. Whenever you are in trouble, pray to Him and put Him in charge of your life. Let Him fight all your battles for you. This strengthens the relationship we have with God. This shows that we are ready for a life with God, fully involved, and our faith in Him is stronger than ever. This gives us the complete freedom to enjoy all God's blessings. According to the Bible, you only feel completely satisfied after you have developed patience. This improves our relationship with God, and God approves of this. This is something you would notice as time goes on, as you would be able to communicate with God on a smoother level. God might even let us in on His will for us. Every encounter with God will improve you in every ramifications of life. When we go through all these experiences, it builds our trust in God, as we now believe that He would always be there for us. When we witness God come to our aid all the time, we finally learn to trust Him and let Him handle situations in our lives, and gradually we find ourselves fully dependent on His grace. This teaches us how important timing is in everything God does for us. We would not learn, and there definitely will not be any growth if God had done everything we asked for immediately. Trusting God and His work in your life. It is going to be great and massive, and you will be glad you waited on Him.